Mandatory vaccine passports. Are we over or under thinking it? Welcome everyone everywhere to the Elite Thinking Club. I'm Chris Jules Julian and I'm joined tonight by my co-hosts Mads, Liz and Michael. How you doing, guys?
Hi.
Very good.
We good?
Very
Been a
good.
while.
Awesome. So first and foremost, if you haven't done so already, guys, hit the subscribe button and follow us because we are always constantly exploring new things. And one of the main things that we've been talking about mostly is exploring corrupt governments and how at the moment it's kind of like double standards. And we in the UK have democracy, but it's kind of being run like a monarchy, right? As if to say, like, you know, these group of people are trying to like rule us, but they don't have to live how we live. Now, before we go any further, just want to say you cannot change anything unless you're willing to understand it, and you cannot understand it unless you're willing to explore it. A good debate doesn't get ugly. We may talk of things that make people feel vulnerable. Beliefs held sacred may be challenged because of life experiences. We're not trying to make people wrong or to incite riot, but simply explore. So welcome to the Elite Thinking Club.
Audio comment.
We're doing all right. We're currently attracting a lot of people. We've got over 250 subscribers on the YouTube now, and you know, our last episode with Aaron speaking about his experience in a coma, never really over. So you haven't done and watched that episode, guys. Check that episode. Yeah, that's his book down there, Michael's showing. But tonight, topic of discussion is: are we overthinking the mandatory vaccine passports? So first and foremost, on the show, who's been vaccinated?
No.
Me today. First facts.
Cool, because a while back we were all anti-vax, but unfortunately, Mads, you've felt pressured to do so because of livelihood, jobs, situation, basically. Like you feel like you had to do it, right?
Pretty much. Yeah, I've been putting it off and well, just said it's not going to happen. I'm not doing it. Even when I went there today, I just walked in so begrudgingly, and even to security, like as soon as I walked in and they were like, right, we need you to sanitize your hands and put a new mask on, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, this is bullshit. I was walking in and I was like, fucking government. I was like, cunt. Sorry, excuse my language. Yeah, lots of foul words, and I literally sat there to the nurse as well, and she was like, okay, what is this, your second one? I was like, no, this is my first. And she was like, oh my God, congratulations, like, well done for coming, good for you for coming to get it done. And I was like, no, I don't want it done. I was like, the reason I haven't had it done is because I don't want it. I was like, I was like, the fucking government have forced me into doing this because I've got to go away at the end of January, you know, and I'll lose a lot of money if I don't go. And also one of my jobs, which I can't do at the moment because I broke my ankle, hence why me not being here for a while. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, welcome back, Mads. All the viewers are like, where's Mads? She ain't been here for a few weeks. Yeah, she broke her ankle, bless her. Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks now. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Anyway, but my weekend job in a nightclub, I wouldn't be able to go back if I didn't have the vaccine. And like for me, you know, that's like it's a big learner. It's a big learner for me, and like I would lose so much money.
And there is a lot of people that feel the same as you, Matt. Like their livelihoods are tied to jobs and situations in life where like this I don't want to say it, but it's forced. It's like it's like you have a choice, you don't have to, but if you don't
blackmail.
Do it, Go on, Liz.
It's blackmail. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't have about the vaccine had there not been such a big push for it, had there not been coercion involved, and had there not been blackmail. The way they have pushed for this is what has made a lot of people look and research and be completely off having it, because the way they've gone about it is completely wrong. Like making out that you have a choice, but then you don't, because they will take away your livelihood. They will take away your freedom to travel, your freedom to speak, your freedom to do anything like entertainment, go out with your family, be around other people, go to venues. It's absolutely shocking that they've been able to do what they've done in the past 18 months, like 20 months. It's absolutely shocking that we've got this far. And I feel like at the moment they're getting super duper desperate to get people boosted. You know, I personally know a lot of people that are having reactions to these boosters, like several in the past week. I know personally that are really ill after having these boosters, and they're regretting having them because they're like, I'd rather have COVID. I'd literally rather have COVID than ache and feel and be how I have after this shot. But yeah, I won't be having it. I don't want to have it. It's still in experimental trials up until 2023. I don't want to be a lab rat. I don't want anything happening to me. I have children to take care of, and I also can't afford to have an adverse reaction that could affect the way I live my life, and daily. Yeah. And I'm funny about what I put in my body anyway. I like to look into things and stuff, and from what I've seen, that the risks for me of the vaccine outweigh the risks of 99.98% COVID virus. And that's just my personal choice, and I have an informed mind. I've done enough research. I've looked at all of the analysis that is based around the vaccines, each of the vaccines. I've done extensive research on it, and the extensive effects and reactions, and even just the whole thing with the government. You're not going to tell me to do something, and you're not going to take away my freedoms and my human rights. I'm sorry. No, you are going to have to kick my door down, drag me away screaming, knock me the hell out before you get that, not prick, needle in me. This is what I feel though, is that they know they can't do that, physically kick your door down, force you to get a jab. So instead they'll play the long game. And it's like trying to make people so fed up of it by now, sick and tired of it by now, just surrender to it. And that's where you get this divide. There are some people who are literally like, you know what, fuck it, excuse my language, just going to get it because now, it means I can go and travel, I can go here, I can go there, I'm allowed to have my freedom back. But what was you fighting for originally? Of course, I was fighting originally for the idea that it's all BS, isn't it? Like, how can they force us to do it? But because it's been so long now, and they're just drawing it out. Michael, what do you think about it?
Well, I'm sitting here drinking a blue drink. So I put some weird shit in my body. So I probably would have taken this if they didn't try and fucking force it on me. So I would rather, and it might come across really strange, I'd rather die from COVID than put down my rights and say, yeah, okay, I'll take this fucking thing that you keep trying to force on me.
I'm with you, Michael. I'll be in the camp with you.
You feel it's a bit suspicious how why are they so pushy?
Why are they so pushy? Why is there such a need? Seriously, I mean, because when you actually look at the data that's out there with regards to the hospitalizations, the deaths, all of that, when you actually look into it, I'd like to know why, because I actually know this side of it all. Right, this is nearly 2 years we're into it now. So this year compared to last year, I know more people that have had an adverse reaction from the vaccine than I do that has told me they have been poorly from COVID, or sorry, when I say poorly, they have been hospitalized from COVID. I don't know anybody that has been hospitalized and died from COVID.
I know one person who's been hospitalized with COVID and they had their double jabs. So,
guys,
and also,
any comments? Any comments on it?
For it to work, you have to have yours and I have to have mine. But if I have mine and you don't have yours, mine doesn't work. So what's the point of me having it?
So, but then also, if you have it, you can still catch it and you can still transmit it.
So can you tell me why we're having it?
So it's all in or nothing.
Yeah.
So okay.
But then if everyone has it, we can still get it and we can still spread it.
Spread it.
Okay,
So
we'll move on to that in a sec. I just want to hear some of the comments, some of the viewers. What are they saying?
I've got one here. Well, there's a few, but Hayley Warner said, oh, Hayley Warner, follow a milestone. Don't know what that means, but anyway, congrats, whatever. Whatever that means. It's awful that you, Madeline, it's awful that you felt like you had to have it. I feel like people who are unvaxxed don't question people's reasons for having it, but people who are vaccinated project the government's narrative onto everyone who refused the vaccine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I get that all
So
the time.
true.
So true. And that's wrong, and it creates a divide. It's divisive. It's
Yeah.
awful.
I keep getting moaned at for not getting it by certain people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I just won't hang around. I just won't see you anymore. If you don't like it, I won't see you.
Yeah.
Me, I'm more about the long game. Like, I want to see where it ends up. It's a bit. I don't just rush into things like that. I can't just allow.
No, I don't.
especially
I have to
think
think.
a foreign thing that I don't know anything about to go into my body. Like, I'm very conscious about it. And you know, you talk about direct people direct to me. I'm living like you guys for the last nearly coming up to 2 years now. I don't know anyone direct to me who has been affected by COVID, and I know a lot of people. I've been around a lot of people, and second to that, it's really hard for me because I'm a bit of a conspiracist. So a lot of my social media is algorithm, and cookies on internet are targeted toward my likes, right? So I don't actually see all the pictures. Sometimes it's just, I'm pumped more of what I like over the bigger picture, and therefore I don't always hear all of the relevant information. It's like cherry picked, right, for me to stay on the app, to stay on the internet. You know what I mean? That's how it works, right? We all know that. However, I was having a conversation with these guys at work the other day, and one of them was one jab and he didn't want to get the second one, and that's because he had enough, but he felt like the pressure, like he had to the pressure to do it. Another guy was all in with vaccines. He supports the government. He was like, no, they can't meddle with human rights. They can't meddle with our lives. Like, they have to roll out vaccines. It's how it's always been done. And the other guy was just like, I am totally with you, Jules. Like, I understand corruption, and it's I understand that there's like a control agenda, an underlying eeriness of mass control, but he's double jabbed because he simply said, I want to travel though, Jules. Like, I want to go out.
So sad that he's been made to feel like that, though. It's
he wants his freedom back. He wants his freedom back. And that then made me question myself, like, am I so conspiracist or am I so, the distrust that I have for the government is, you guys, you know me, but I just don't have any.
I'm with you, Jules. I'm with you.
So even if this is the answer, vaccine, let's all get healthy. I'm already healthy, but let's all get like immune. I just can't trust it. I'm at that point where I'm like,
well, if you remember originally, the vaccines were actually going to be only for those who were high risk, which were people over a certain age, people who were obese, people who had severe underlying health issues. Then it was spread to, even though you're 40, we have some available, you can have it. Oh, you're so lucky to get it. Come and get it. And then it was, now we're going to jab your children.
Yeah, they were getting texts.
Leave the kids out of it. But very quickly, I noticed it very quickly. I remember having a conversation with a friend in a cafe, and they said to me, oh, thank God they're rolling out this vaccine to those who need it, to the high risk, because then we can all come out of our houses and have our freedom back, because those at high risk will get their safety, they'll be covered. The rest of us will get herd immunity, and we will be able to keep humanity going, and they'll still feel safe and be able to come out of their houses, because it must not be nice having underlying health issues and knowing that any infection, or any virus or any infection could hurt you. And I remember sitting there thinking, and then literally it was about a couple of days after I'd had that conversation, I remember seeing and hearing, now it's being offered to these people. They're lower risk, and these people and this age and this age group and this age group. I thought it's creeping now.
Yeah,
and
I was the same.
That's when I was like, I know this doesn't, no, because I just thought, why do those people need it? when you originally were plugging so much, it's high risk people. Well, if they're covered, we don't need it.
Yeah. When it first started,
I thought that is, it's either not effective or
when it first started, I was literally thinking like, if you're high risk, fucking go get it. You're a twat for not getting it. That's what I originally was thinking. And then once they did, like, what we've mentioned this a few times, Mission Creep, where they get them first ones in, and a little bit more, and now apparently me and you and all of us who are apparently healthy, now we've got to get it.
Because we've got to look after everybody else.
Chances are, if I get it, I'll smash it, and then I'll have my own antibodies, which are more effective than fake ones that they pump into me.
Yeah, and I think it's also what I think is a massive thing that's happened recently on the news is with regards to the fact that they're going to be deferring treatment for people who have serious life-threatening conditions, and they're pushing all of that aside to get booster jabs in people's arms, when for something that is 99.98% chance of you getting and being poorly from.
Yeah.
So I just need to get this. I can't get my head round how somebody who has an underlying health issue, or they need continuous treatment for something that has a higher risk and rate of killing them, they're told you can't have that any longer because the booster jabs, getting booster jabs in people's arms is far more important than you having your chemo, or than you having your heart transplant, or you having your, whatever operation you need to have something removed, a lump removed, or what have you. Like, people this week that have been diagnosed with something fatal and awful and terminal, or something that they've been told, look, as long as we get you in this process and we get you in this program, you'll survive it. Oh, but we can't get you in the program because we've got to get boosters. I'm sorry, but that's where I can't. If it's for our health and safety, and for to prolong our lives, they would be prolonging all life. They would not be deferring treatments and stopping that just to get jabs in people's arms.
So what's really important to remember as well is that we live with illnesses like the flu. The flu this winter will kill people. That's a fact. It's always done it, and it won't
will. Go down as flu, though. It will go down as COVID.
What I'm saying is, though, we have a flu jab for people who are vulnerable to flu. And that doesn't mean, though, that I have to get the flu jab, or you have to get the flu jab, and everyone else has to get the flu jab simply because you're vulnerable to the flu. Also, people who are vulnerable to the flu know that at this time of year, keep yourself protected, do your utmost to, not put yourself in harm's way. Now,
did you have the flu jab before?
I've
never had it. I just wondered.
But this is what the questionable thing is that I thought about earlier, was when it was put to me, like the pressure from others, I was thinking, I'm healthy. That's like asking me, like, the flu's out there, Joel, you should get a flu jab. But why? I don't need it. I'm strong. Like, I don't actually need it. And
I've never had it.
And now they're telling me, because I haven't had it, or potentially telling me, because you haven't had it, you can't go out. But I'm fine. Like, back to the flu. If you know that you're the one that's, in harm's way, you stay in. Why? Like, let's look at the ratio of numbers. Do you get what I mean? Look at the ratio of numbers. If you're vaccinated, you can go and do all the things that you're allowed to do, right? Or say allowed to do. You can go and have a life. But if you're not, you're the problem. You've got to stay indoors. Why? At what point, though, are we going to get through this process where, say, all of the unvaccinated do stay indoors and the vaccinated continue to go outside, and yet there's still hospitalizations of all vaccinated people? At what point are people going to then say, hold on a minute, it's nothing to do with the unvaccinated here because they're all in there? Like, if they lock us all up in
they're just going to say, no, there must have been some that got out. There's a few.
But that's my point. We've got to look at it with common sense and sensibility and logical thinking, because it just already, like, there was a thing on the news where they said the majority of hospitalizations were the unvaccinated. untrue. And in actual fact, The Economist printed it in an article and said that it was the majority of the unvaccinated in there. They actually got fact checked, and the UK HSA and Public Health England were contacted within this fact check, and The Economist had to go online and rewrite their article to state that the unvaccinated percentage in hospitals is actually 35%. The other 65% is vaccinated.
Good. And I'm glad that they got held accountable for their mistakes.
They did, and they had to change it.
You can't be going around saying shit like that.
Because that would coerce people into going to get it. Yeah. And Matt, it caused fear.
We have any comments? Any more comments?
Yeah, there was quite a few.
Let's have them.
They're loving it.
A few that we missed. Luke Dre. Freedom is already an illusion. Everything is all about control.
Cheers, Luke.
Totally agree with what you're saying. If something happened to us, they aren't going to help look after our children or pay our bills. Booster after booster, where does it stop?
Yeah.
And CJ Darton, I love this, is my favourite one. Especially me with working in, with events and nightclubs. As a doorman, I won't be asking for COVID passports for entry.
I love you. I love you.
Nice one, Dalton. Cheers, bro.
Thank you.
CJ Dalton. Norwich.
I was ignoring that one because I didn't want to say it out loud. I don't want him to lose his job.
I don't like the idea that I could potentially not be allowed to go to certain places because I won't adhere to having a vaccine. I mean, I don't want this vaccine in my body if I don't need it. That's like someone saying, right, forget the vaccine, right? I don't smoke cigarettes. But if someone said to me, you have to smoke. And I know this isn't, some guy said this to me the other day. He goes, what you're doing now, Jules, is something that a lot of people do in an argument. It's called false equivalence, right? And I've got to be careful. It is common, false equivalence. And if you don't know what that is, check it out quick. But basically, it's when you try and compare two things that just shouldn't really be compared. But the concept's still the same. If someone said to me, like, you get with the program or you're not in, like, you got to get in, you got to take one for the team, basically. But no, because I don't know what is going in me and I don't want it in me. If I, like Michael said earlier, and I'm quite with this actually, if COVID comes for me, it comes for me. I am not going to try and get in the way of nature. That's like saying, oh, well, if you could prevent cancer, would you? I suppose so. Yeah, I suppose so. But let me remind you, it's been nearly 2 years and I haven't caught COVID. So it's not like, if they said to me, right, here's a cancer preventing vaccine, I've lived 30 years without it. And I don't speak for all cancer. You know, I'm not saying it like people are going to be like, oh, Jules, you've never had cancer. You don't know what you're talking about. Fine. You know what? I haven't had cancer. I don't know what I'm talking about then. But I'm trying to explain something. And what I'm trying to explain is simply that I've lived long enough, right, to know that I'm happy to wait it out. That's my personal preference. But now you're telling me that potentially I won't be allowed to live my life because I'm not going to get with your program. It's just, I can't be the only one that feels that way. Do you know what I'm saying?
You're not the only one that feels that way.
I'm pretty sure at the start of this, me and Danny both had COVID and got over it. Like, she was in bed a few days. I just did what I normally do when I get flu, monster through it. But I'm pretty sure we both got it and both had it. So if I got tested, I reckon I'd find antibodies in my body.
Can I just say, Michael, two things relating to what you've just said, and one thing relating to what you just said and one thing relating to what Jules just said, just in case anybody is watching and they don't know about it, and if it helps anybody that is watching that is sitting there feeling the same as Jules, same as me, Michael, Mads, feeling like we're not going to be able to do things. So first of all, Michael, if you're pretty sure that you've had it, and did you say, Danny, is that your partner? Yeah. So if you guys think you may have had it, you can get a simple finger prick test done. And it's a sample of your blood, finger prick. Yeah, I've said that too many times tonight, haven't I? Anyway, so you can get a simple finger prick test done, and it takes your blood and it will get you an antibody result. And not many people know this, but if you basically get the antibody, if it comes back that you have the antibodies and you've had it and that proves that you've had it, you've got the antibodies, you've recovered from it, which means you're basically 13 times more covered than a vaccine. You can actually get yourself an antibody certificate. You can get them online via the government website. You can apply, you can go to your local doctors or whatever centre is doing the finger prick test. You can find one that you can go on and get a locator nearest to your postcode, and you can get the certificate and the certification, and basically you can travel on that without being vaccinated. You can have an antibody certificate and you can travel. I have friends that have done it and that are doing it. They're currently all over the world traveling with their antibody certificate. So that's in relation to what you said. Please go and get it. And Jules, in relation to what you said with regards to how you feel like you can't go into anywhere, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go to nightclubs, can't go to venues, can't go to concerts. People, you actually can. Okay, you do not need the vaccination to be able to get entry into any of those. That is all that you get. You think you hear when you're told by the government on the news, is that if you don't have it, you can't go in. When I listened to the news the other day, I sat there and what I heard was, if you're vaccinated, you can go out. If you're unvaccinated, you can't. But when I actually listened to it back, and I looked at the legislation and I looked online on the government website, again, you can access this all yourselves, gov.uk. You can actually still go to nightclubs. You can actually still go to events, concerts. You can still travel, even if you are unvaccinated, as long as you show, and it's in the small print, proof of a negative test. So even if you're unvaccinated and your mates have organised a night out and you think, oh, I can't go to that club, or I can't go to that venue, I can't go to that concert because I'm not vaccinated, don't feel pressured into having the vaccine just for a concert or just for going out clubbing. You can actually still go out clubbing, because when you turn up at the door and they say, can you show you proof of pass? Or some people will. Proof of pass. Some people will say, yes, I'm vaccinated, here's my pass. Some people say, no, I'm not vaccinated, but here's my negative test result. And that, you know, and that doesn't, you don't have to have the app. You just literally show it via the test result online, where you upload your test result. So you can still go out. You still can go out.
Knowledge. Yeah, I hope that becomes more public knowledge, because what we don't want to be faced with is people who think they know what they're talking about, don't know what they're talking about. So you end up saying, no, but I do have a negative test result. And then you have a conflict at the door with someone who genuinely doesn't know. So we just need to keep pushing more and more about this, because what seems to be happening is, like, there is this massive agenda and they're so good at promoting and marketing all the reasons to get it, but they're not then highlighting all the alternatives, because alternatives are amazing. You know what I mean? Like, we've had episodes talking about alternatives all the time, but yet people aren't really looking at it because they don't know no better. They haven't been exposed to it. They're not ready to hear it. But it's up to us now to really start helping people see this. So Liz, thank you so much for that, because I didn't know about that.
You're welcome. And I just want to say to everybody that with all of this, there are two things. There are exceptions and there are exemptions. So always look into, when you hear something and when they say something, listen to what they say quickly. They'll say the bad stuff very slowly so that it goes in, but the stuff they say very quickly is the stuff they don't really want you to take in. So when you sometimes hear them describing all of this, they will say, you know, people as of 25th of December cannot go into a nightclub unless you're vaccinated or show proof of a negative lateral flow test. It's like, oh, hold on a minute, what was that? So I can still go out like me when I'm if I go a negative test, but you just made out I had to be vaccinated. Do you see what I mean? So you've just got to, but all of that information is available on gov.uk website. You know, any data you want to see is on the ONS website, UK HSA and Public Health England.
A question for you, Liz. Someone said, do you know how long it lasts? I've had COVID twice and they've had and have high levels of natural antibodies. NHS 119 have told me as I'm unvaxxed, I have to self-isolate as my son currently has COVID, which means I can't take my other kids to school. So going by what you said, how long? So if I had COVID at the start, can I still prove that I've had it and beat it?
You have the finger prick test.
So it's forever.
Your antibody levels will show that you've had it. You just have to have it in your antibody levels to get the certificate. So, if you've had it, you will have the antibodies.
See you, Haley.
Awesome. Now, this is a question. Sorry, go on, Mads.
I actually want to get it so I can get the antibody certificate.
Yeah. Let's go lick some toilets.
I got it really badly, so that was one thing I thought about, is getting the antibody test. But I don't know. Just for me, it was just like, I just don't have the energy anymore. I was like, I just give up. But apparently there's something else that you can do as well, where you literally register to say that you're part of a trial, like an unvaccinated trial.
I am.
Yeah, so you could literally go online and register as like, and then apparently you can use that as well.
Yeah, Vax Control Group. I've got my card.
Is that what it is? Vax Control.
I'll go get it and show you all.
Do you have to do something with it?
Vax Control card.
Yeah, my friend was telling me about it.
Yeah, basically it means that, okay, so just to explain, when any vaccine is made, they have to have two groups. So they have to have two control groups. They have to have those that have had the vaccine, and they have to have those who have not had it. Enable to establish studies and enable to see differences and side effects and placebos and all of that, they have to have a group in society that haven't had it, so they can do the comparisons, they can check the levels of infections, viruses, all of that. So when you register for it, it's Vax Control Group. It's online. I have mine. So mine is there. And you can see my picture, and you can see there's a barcode here. And I don't know if you can read the writing that's there on the front. It says must not be vaccinated. And it's in red writing.
I thought that said next MOT.
And no, oi you. And it actually says at the top, SARS-CoV-2 Vaccine Control Group. And it says participant name, which is my name, participant ID. So that is my scan. So if I go out and they say, have you got your pass? They know I'm part of the control group, and they would scan that. And when they scan that, it comes up onto that Vax Control Group website, and it has all the information, and then it states all the articles of the human rights, all the different Nuremberg Code. It has everything for if they want to question it. And it says must not be vaccinated. This person is a registered participant in the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine control group. And then on the back, it has information if they want to check it, if the person is like, oh, what is this? And it says, it is vital that participants of this important global medical study are not illegally discriminated against or excluded from normal societal activities, events and services. And then it says, report it. To report a medical event or an act of discrimination by a business or service provider, please scan your QR code or visit www.vaxcontrolgroup.com.
So do you have to do anything on that?
You are amazing, Liz.
So, I won't be having the vax, and I just tried to share this information because I hate the fact that people feel fear. I hate the fact that people feel forced, coerced. I hate the fact that people are being told they're going to lose their jobs and they're willing to give up their livelihood because they're standing by their freedom, their human rights and their body autonomy. And I will, like I've said before, I will continue the fight, and I will continue to go against it because
I love that. I
will not be forced.
We all love that.
Yeah,
honestly, Liz,
yeah, I do
so much.
Now, so to get in that group, what do you have to do?
You go on and
Michael, go on Vax Control Group.
You go on there.
Yeah, but do you have to prove anything after a while? Like in 6 months' time, do I have to go to London and
do you have to do like a piss test every year?
No. You just register. You can put the information in. I'll ask you like your blood type and things like that. If it's unknown, you just tick unknown. So you don't even have to specify any information if you don't want to. Once you've registered, you then upload your picture, and you'll get sent your card within, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Michael can't wait. He can't wait.
I'm doing that. Because I mean, it seems too easy.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be many out there who have never heard of this before, and they're going to leap straight to it. And I think
it does cost like £6 because you pay for like postage and all of that. So, but that depends on how many cards you got. I got a few obviously because I got the kids myself. So, yeah.
Amazing. Oh, perfect then.
It's like old meme. Take my money.
This is the next step. So let's say that they've released this new variant has emerged and people have jumped on it, and I believe that they've tried to jump on it early as to not have the catastrophic outcome as before when they took it lightly. However, the fuck, new variant, then need booster. This isn't going to stop. You know what I mean?
And you do realize new variants equals the virus getting weaker, because that's what viruses do. They mutate, more variants equals weaker, 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 weaker. And the doctor that actually found this in South Africa, which I did mention on our previous podcast, Dr. Angelique, she has stated verbally in many interviews, which you can find online if you search them, this is a positive thing. Yes, we've found it. It's a new variant, but it's mild. And the most of the people that have had it in South Africa, there's been quite a few of them, it's been mild cases at home, headache, you know, a little bit poorly, mild. She said mild so many times, but over here, we're not hearing that. There's been the odd interview where ministers or health experts have said, you know, although it's mild, we don't know how you know, how mild it actually is. So there's still that element of fear being pushed, but people are forgetting the word mild here. Mild is good, it's positive, it means it's getting weaker. But if we tell people that, we're going to start losing control, aren't we? Because people are going to start going, woo,
it seems to be looking like an opinion-based sport now. Like it's just a matter of opinion. You know, either you think it's bad or you don't. However, the agenda from, you know, governments is pushing that it's really, really bad, really, really severe, rare, rare. And it's just like, hold on, is this actual fact or is this your opinions? Because clearly from what we're hearing about this new variant is it's weaker, it's milder, you know, all this and that. So therefore, in my risk assessment in life is that it's not that bad.
Also, did you know, in order for them to realise and actually establish a new variant, it takes about 6 weeks in the lab. So I'm just a little bit curious because they said the other day that somebody at a school in the UK, a young kid, tested positive, and it was the Omicron. And I'm thinking, okay, so if he tested positive on like the Monday, how the hell did they know by Thursday or on the Monday that it was Omicron? Like when it takes 6 weeks?
Because sometimes the government are amazing.
They must be. They must have made this magical variant processing device that just tells you, ping, it's Omicron. Like, you know, I don't know.
I know.
But then, like Jules saying, maybe sometimes I sit there, Jules, and I think to myself, hold on, am I just having this frame of mind because I'm so skeptical now, because I just can't trust anything that comes out of their mouths, because there's been such a length of time of mistrust and blackmail and corruption and you know, and partying, double standards. And I'm sorry, like even the whole, you know, do you remember the Dominic Cummings when he was travelled across the country and all of this, and we weren't even allowed out of 5 mile radius and things like that. And it's just like,
is that the guy who was snogging the secretary?
No, that was Neil somebody, Ferguson or whatever his name was. Yeah. Look, but again, him as well. These are just snippets. The
thing is about leadership is that if you need to
lead by example.
Lead by creed and deed. And unfortunately, there are I'd say small percentage of, you know, our leaders or government that are letting the side down big time.
I'd say there's a big part of them.
Okay, well, if
and they're doing it like parents, do what I say, not what I do.
Yes, and this is where I said earlier, like we live in a democracy in England, right? They're running it like a monarchy, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, seriously. And our public are more than willing to cooperate, but the word is cooperate. Highlight it, we're all in it together. Like, you need to be doing your bit too. And unfortunately, it just doesn't feel like that. And therefore, how can you expect us to? And that's why this is so important to do this. So if you haven't done so already, guys, hit that subscribe button and keep following us, because we will continue this non-stop.
And I just wanted to say that
in the description, and get yourself some fan base hoodies or
if any of our watchers and subscribers you know are concerned or need any information, you know, feel free to give us a message, drop us a message and get in touch. And you know, we're more than happy to send you any information or any links. I'm more than happy to if people need it, and if it helps people, you know, just become more informed, or, you know, just if they're a little bit you know, concerned or worried about something, or they're not sure and they just want some help with it, get in touch. Get in touch.
Right, guys, does anyone else want to say anything before we wrap up the show? Nothing else to add? Any more comments, guys, quick before we finish?
No, I think we're gone.
That's it, yeah.
Thanks for everyone that has commented.
Yeah, appreciate you guys big time. Really, really do. And like I said before, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe, hit the like, follow, and yeah, check us out for another episode. Right, guys, thank you again for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you, Liz, Mads, Michael.
Thank you.
And all our viewers, everyone everywhere, peace and love.
Is that jazz hands?